Why is Stanley Kubrick considered such a genius? And why is Full Metal Jacket such a good movie? I'm Sam from Euphoric Movie, and every week we break down the filmmaking from a different movie. From behind the scenes secrets and hidden filmmaking details to the techniques and blocking of certain scenes. Then at the end, I'll give the movie its final ranking and of course reveal the single most impressive shot in the entire film. Not a lot of people know about this filmmaking trick that Kubrick used in the first half of the movie. It's something that he does with the cameras that subconsciously tricks you into being even more immersed in the movie. Anytime you see a scene with the drill instructor, played by Ermey, all of the recruits are always in focus. You never see a blurry background. This is a specific lens choice that enabled this, but its real purpose is that it also serves the story. It's showing us that none of them specifically are special. Everyone there is equal, or more fittingly, equally worthless. Now, Kubrick's directing in all of his films are very rigid, and although later in the video I'll be specifically breaking down the filmmaking and blocking of certain scenes and what makes them so well directed, it's really the writing and the script that I want to focus on for the first part of the movie, and specifically Ermey. Now, it's said that he improvised all of his lines in the movie, which just isn't true. So let me set the record straight for the actual story, because it's one of those things that a lot of people online have misconstrued. Not a lot of people know that Ermey was actually pursuing a career in acting long before Full Metal Jacket was in production, and he was involved in movies before this. For example, he served as the military advisor in movies like Apocalypse Now. So when Kubrick hired him as advisor on this film, he deliberately tried to get the role of the drill instructor, a character who was already being played by Tim Culkery, the guy who plays the helicopter door gunner. So his plan was simple. During auditions for the recruits, he demonstrated how a real drill instructor would address them. And that demonstration convinced Kubrick that Ermey's actual experience gave the character something that Culkery could not easily reproduce. Kubrick eventually wrote Culkery a personal letter explaining that, and after considerable deliberation, he was giving the role to Ermey because Ermey added an extra dimension derived from direct experience. In other words, he improvised much of Hartman into existence, but he did not necessarily improvise it in the finished takes when they were filming on set. But overall, still an amazing performance. Now, most people say that the opening 45 minutes of Full Metal Jacket is the only good part of the movie, but I personally like the second half just as much as the first, and a big reason for that is how well the movie is made. I'm not exaggerating when I say this, but every scene has an awesome tracking shot somewhere in there. And the opening boots were made for walking one sets the perfect precedent for what the next hour will be. Just look at all these elements moving through the screen. And something you're going to hear me say a lot is think about how every single one of these people have to be told what to do and exactly the timing of when to do it before the cameras start rolling. And I'm going to point out the things I see. Of course, all these people walking by, the cars in the background, this moped with the three people, and then the main girl. Now we see Joker and Raptor Man sitting at the table in the background too. And combine all these parts with the fact that the camera is moving forward and the fact that this composition is perfectly balanced with the building on the left side and the billboards on the right, and you just have a really great shot. Something very intentional, not just some random establishing shot. What makes Kubrick great is he knows when not to cut. He just lets this medium shot play out for the entire conversation. You get to choose multiple places to look at, and you're really just watching the actors act and the story play out. The guy then takes his camera with a series of well cut together static shots, and immediately after we fade into yet another great tracking shot. Now we have the guys on the tank, the helicopter flying by, even more people walking by, great production design with these structures, even more extras walking by, and then of course the helicopter lands. And then guess what it fades into? Another really well designed tracking shot. Joker and Raptor Man walking. This truck in the background, these extras playing a game, another truck driving by, even more people walking, another vehicle driving by, a helicopter going by. None of these are random. All of these are specifically planned. All of these are real. There's no CGI in this. And remember, these are just the first 3 scenes in the second half of the movie. And this is what I mean, the entire second half is like this, and it honestly never really stops. Once you notice it, you can't really unsee that it's full of amazing setups followed by a series of clean cuts and nicely composed static shots. With everything I just said in mind now, comment if you now look at this shot differently. I'm going to play through it here, and now you can start to see why everyone is wrong when they say that the second half of the movie is boring. I mean, this is every single scene here has something like this. Now, let me know all the elements that you guys see. So I don't want this video to be too long, but I do have to break down this shot as it may be my favorite one. Again, look at all these elements moving through the screen perfectly timed. These two walking by, this extra saying his line right, this car driving by, two more people driving by, a helicopter flying in the background, another car driving by, and all these extras laying around. If any of those go wrong, they have to reset and film it again. All that work for a 23-second shot that most people probably aren't thinking about. But like I promised, the best shot in the entire movie is this one here. It lasts about 70 seconds. Let's break it down. We start here with a 15-second speech from Earl. As the soldiers get up, so do we. And now the camera is moving. And one by one, we're now following the soldiers. Slowly and meticulously. Now, I've never seen anything done like this prior to this movie, and I know this buzzword gets thrown around a lot, but it truly is immersive and makes you feel like you're also a part of this as an audience member. It's also just cool, technically speaking, with the smoothness of the Steadicam, and it just keeps going. You guys let me know if you agree, if this is the best shot in the movie, but look, this movie always is and always will be a 5 out of 5 stars for me. It's probably Kubrick's most entertaining film, and it will always be my favorite war film ever made. If you want to join our movie club, we do different themes each month, so August is war movies, so next week's episode will be Patton. But if you enjoyed this breakdown, consider subscribing and let me know in the comments.